There is the computer.
No.
The projector?
It's the light.
It's the light. You cannot do anything against it. Except
Getting it that far.
making it a bit more distance, but because it's too close to the microphone. I shut it down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good.
All right.
Do you know the concept of the artwork we are preparing? Or should I?
You said it's a trial that to say that things are not only black and white, things they're presented. And
And we do different interviews with different persons. We all know them. All the persons we do interviews with, they are friends or friends of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So we do not do an ethnographic show and for research now we need this or so. Because we are really interested in personal stories, personal point of views, not in
political speeches.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. And then the idea is to have a round room and all the projectors or monitors with the people talking, and you enter the room and hear all of them together. And you can go close to one monitor, put headphones on, and listen to the story and really go deep into the story. And then you will notice that all the stories might sound interesting, or you can understand the people and their background, but they interfere with each other sometimes. Maybe not, but you can maybe understand the difficulty of the situation or the complexity of the situation.
Through the different stories that might look alike and be different, or be contradictory, or join back one thing.
Exactly.
I see.
And and so I just would like to ask you to introduce yourself and to tell us what I really do not know. It's not only because of the camera where you come from, what your family background is.
Sure.
Different family backgrounds.
Of course. طيب, my name is Kais Bakri. 20 years old, father, married. Born in Jerusalem. Love this city. I would call myself Palestinian because the society, which is called the Palestinian Society, is my society where I grew up. I feel I belong to this society, to my Arab environment, or I would say more a Palestinian environment, because, well, Palestinian is, when you're talking about our cultural identity, we are a result of cultural invasions and cultural friendships that happened in this land. Being a Palestinian is for me first is not having I might be getting restricted by being Palestinian, because when I say Palestinian, I would say that my home is between River Jordan and the Mediterranean Sea. I would fix myself borders and say this is my region, or this is where I belong to. I would say I'm from the region of Palestine. But I would not say I'm for the Palestinian nationality, the Palestinian flag, and the Palestinian frontiers, and because the thing which is restricting us today is frontiers and the fact that we cannot have access to from A to B or from B to C. So if we want to build a country or make a nationality to create ourselves a ghetto with our hands and to get close and to say this is Palestine and this is where we belong to, and I think it's idiot. Me as a Palestinian or somebody coming from Palestinian region,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel too much connected with Syria. I would call it my homeland, my grand province. When we're talking about Syria, it's a grand province. It's Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, and the Jordanian desert. I would not go say, okay, Syria, the country of today and the flag of today, and this is Syria. I would say, no, Syria is a province. Palestine is a department of a Syrian province that was a department in a Turkish empire.
I just wanted to say that you should say maybe Ottoman. I'm come from the Ottoman Empire or something like this. If you.
Well, I'm a result, or I'm a fruit of people that met, that loved Jerusalem, and that came to Jerusalem, and that came to the region of Palestine, and that settled down, and that married, and that made, we would say, the Palestinian stereotype, or so I feel Syrian, I feel Palestinian. If I go to Lebanon, I would feel Lebanese. If I go to Turkey, I will feel Turkish. If I go to Uzbekistan, I will feel Uzbek. So it's one empire. So it's especially when we talk about Jerusalem and Palestine and the ancient cities of the Levant. Those cities were big cities of sciences and religion. They were pilgrimage cities, and people came and loved land and stayed. So this is way before the Turkish Empire, ever since this country existed. We're talking about highway number 1 on Earth, the first road between the two biggest civilizations, Mesopotamia and Egypt. A battlefield and the trade field for business and commerce, times of prosperity, times of war. People always met here. It's a place where people met. Now, would we call it Palestine? It is a Roman name that the Roman gave based on the Philistine that lived in the south of Canaan, that were mixed with the Arab local tribes, the Canaanites. Okay, if we call it Palestine, it's a province. I would not want to see. I'm an anti-nationalist anyway.
It sounds like
for
this,
me, it's when I feel good in France, I'm French. Because the person that feels good in France, he's French too. So if I feel good in France, well.
But wow, I mean, it sounds a bit utopia, because the world doesn't work like this, does it?
Not in
You
practical.
have the passports, and you have the borders, and you have the wars because of the borders.
Yeah, because I know that I have to pay tax and security, and that borders are business, and if there is no borders, there is no smuggling. Right?
Yeah.
Now in Europe, it's like smuggling is disappearing because there is free circulation in Schengen. You have free circulation of people and merchandise, and
Europe closes its borders very strict to North Africa.
yes, that's right. But when you look at Europe, I can say that I have much more in common in culture, language, mentality, the guy in Iraq, Syria, or in Emirate, or even in North Africa, than an Irish and a Swiss would have in common. And they still could have common interest and create something called EU. And one thing I liked actually about the Arab history is that tiny initiative when Syria and Egypt were some kind of the same country, the United Arab Republic, didn't work, all kinds of peace, let's say. We need peace first between Arab countries. Between Morocco and Algeria, they're not friends. Tunisians hate Moroccans. I mean governments. Libyans, they hate everybody. They're weird. They say, their leaders say we are before African, before being Arabs, which is in a way right. In Jordan, they hate Palestinians. In Palestine, they hate Jordanians. In Lebanon, they massacre Palestinians.
A lot of nationalism, huh?
Yeah, it was the fashion. It was a new fashion, like in Europe, in East Europe, the tiny departments of the Turkish Empire, like the Balkans, that became countries. And with countries, we could make borders. With borders, we could restrict people and and split them between each, split them and make them ignorant about what's going on the other side.
But it happens still in Europe. I mean, just now you have this thing with the Kosovo, that the Kosovo says we are independent.
Yeah, it's weird, this Kosovo story. It's I'm not for Kosovo. I'm not for borders. I'm not for new nationalistic things, because it's taking us nowhere but to more wars, more ignorance about others, hatred. When nationalism is when I'm talking about another kind of nationalism, when I'm saying I'm proud of being from Palestine or from Jerusalem and I love my homeland, then it's okay. But when I say I'm Palestinian and nothing else counts, then it's negative. And when you put more borders between people would be ignorant the one on the other. You go to France, for example. In France, okay, there is the sea between us. There is like 5,000-6,000 kilometers. But in France, once I met a guy and I speak fine French, and he did not think for a while that I'm a migrant, and then he saw a slight accent and what do you do? Like, oh, I speak languages, I do translations, I work in alternative tourism, I invest myself, I do music, arts. Wow, where do you come from? Jerusalem. Ah, you're Israeli, good. I said, no, I'm Arab. You're Arab and you know how to do all this? This is, you see the wall that countries can put and that propaganda can put, because with walls, when there is no accessibility, when I cannot go to Jordan, for example, my leader in my country that I trust, for whom I voted, that manipulated my idiot mind, would tell me the Jordanian hates you. The Jordanian has got teeth and he's gonna bite you, and for example. So this way I'd be scared to go to Jordan, and there I'm gonna meet a Jordanian maybe in Europe. For example, I would say, wow, you look fine, man. You're not scary. You didn't bite me. Even here in the country, for example, Israelis and Palestinians, I would not say Arabs and Jews. I would not repeat the same mistake that, which is
sorry
not...
that I interrupt you. Why is this a mistake to say Arabs and Jews?
Because Jews are Arabs. Israelite Arabs. Or not when they say Arabs, if they feel offended, Semites, or from the same tribe, from the same region. We were tribal here. We will stay tribal here. We're so family, so tribe, so belonging to our tribe. It will stay, it will not disappear. Pressure on the society tries to make it disappear, but maybe it's in our genetic code, we function this way. And, even all ancient cultures function this way, we are tribes. If you know Arabic, you can easily learn Hebrew. The similarity between the two languages is astonishing. And for me, those are not two languages, they are two dialects of the spoken languages of the Semitic language. Because you look at Arabic, which is practiced today, or the literal Arabic, it's one Arabic that survived among like hundreds of dialects, from which were Hebrew, Gypsy maybe, all these, every family had an accent. Now, for example, if I go to China and my brother goes to Australia, my descendancy will speak a dialect and his descendancy will speak a dialect, but it will still be the same language.
And you can understand each other.
Of course. And if a Jewish person says, I do not understand not any word of Arabic, or not even a tiny context of the conversation, he is lying.
Really?
And if you go to an Arab and say those Jews are talking in Hebrew, and he says, okay, I could not understand not any word, then he is lying, because it's really alike. Even the way of conjugating verbs, the source of the verb, the noun of the verb is the same. Many words in ancient Arabic or literal Arabic or poetic Arabic that are not used in the Arabic society today are the today words of the Hebrew language. And vice versa. So I wouldn't say Arabs and Jews, because first of all, Arab is in today's definition, an Arab is a race, let's say an ethnic group. Being Jewish is not belonging to an ethnic group, it's belonging to a confession. Believing in the God of
there
Israel.
you have a huge discussion if what is it and
For example, you go today to Damascus if you want. You go to the old city of Damascus and you meet Jews. And you say, what are you? Syrian, Arabs. What's your religion? Jews. As if we have, they say, for example, Israel says that too much. If you take any map of the old city, Arab quarter and Christian quarter. Okay, what are Christians then? What nationality will we give them? Let's see. What ethnic race is Christian an ethnic race? How can you separate? This is not academic, this is not anthropologic. This is not common sense to say Arab quarter, Christian quarter. Arab quarter, Armenian quarter, okay. Armenian is an ethnic race that came from Armenia. Ahla wa sahla. Christians are Palestinians. Well, after that, some of them follow Rome, some of them follow Greeks, some of them follow Damascus, some of them follow Lebanon. They have the priests from all over the world, all the diversity of the Christian confession. But where do they come from? Okay, Arabs, with connection with pilgrims that came from Europe. They would mix with each other because of having the same religion. But what are they? What was Jesus? He was Palestinian. Virgin Mary was Palestinian. The Jews at that time were Palestinian.
Palestinian and Jewish, yeah.
They were Palestinian Jews. For example, you want to get more complex in this question, you can go to Naples. What would we call Samaritans that have a representative in the Palestinian Legislative Council? They are Israelite Palestinian. So words look alike. There can be a misunderstanding of definition, understanding these places. And sometimes I would say things go and things are clear in front of me, but I do not find reasons why things are going this way. They're not turning round, as we say in French. Things turn, but not round. So to end up with this, I cannot say Jewish and Arab. I can say an Arab or a Middle Eastern with many confessions. Okay? And this is the beautiful thing about the country, it's a mosaic. And we are building walls to destroy this mosaic. We are destroying a painting. And it's one international mosaic in this country. This is, you have Roman art, you have Greek art, you have Roman influence, Greek influence, you have Persian influence, you have Arab influence, you have Turkish influence, North African influence. Our society is built on this.
And what do you say about the Jews from Europe? They came here and started to build the country. Were they strangers? Were they caused problems that they came here?
If there was one big mistake done in this country, that was allowing the Jews back. The Jews should have not came back to this country. Not that I'm against them, not that they don't have the right, but it was in the wrong time. You cannot bring, Britain does not have any legitimate right to bring or to give Palestine province as a gift for the Jews to make a national country for the Jews. You cannot nationalize a religion. When you nationalize a religion, you're talking about fundamentalism, extremism. What kind of state is this? Is it a Hebrew state? I am sure it's Hebrew, because Hebrew is passing by. For me, Israel is not gonna last, because nothing on earth lasted. So we are all Hebrews, and everything is Hebrew in some way. Everything is passing by, nothing is eternal. So Israel is from A to Z, from Alpha to Omega, it will go to end. Everything has a beginning, has an end. After that, it's not a legitimate country, it's not a legitimate existence. It's not a democracy. They call it democracy.
Why is it not?
How could it be a democracy when you have first, second, third, fourth degree citizen? It cannot be. If it cannot be a democracy when there is no equality, the government does not give the same services to the same society, or would not give the Israelis as it would give the Israeli Arabs. It would not give the Israeli Arab or the Palestinian residents in Israel, as East Jerusalem, as much as it gives Israeli Arab. On our IDs, for example. Now I have a new ID, nationality.
Yeah, it's good to show it and to explain it.
Now my nationality is,
What does it mean?
I don't know. Wallah, I don't know. They have put me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stars. My nationality is 9 stars. Yeah. This is my nationality. In Hebrew, Hali'um, in Arab, in Arabic, Al-Qawmiyya,
What does it mean?
nationality. 9 stars.
And what can you do with this ID card?
I can pass the checkpoint. And I can make my life easy and less hard than a cousin of me that would live in Ramallah.
Well, can you maybe explain it how many different ID cards do exist and what is this? It's a blue one. It's a
This is Jerusalem. This is
Yeah.
not nationality, this is residency in Israel. Here in Jerusalem, I'm a refugee. This is my house. See? This is my land. It's registered in Israel, it's my land, I pay the tax over it, but I have no right in this country. One day they can come and kick me out. Because I have no nationality. I don't want it either. I don't want any Israeli nationality. I'll be ashamed. But before this one, this is the new model. Before, it was something more odd. I had on my old ID, nationality Arab. Is being Arab a nationality? There is one country called Arabia. If you want to talk in terms of frontiers and borders as if they're calling nationalities. A friend of mine, we live in this same society. He speaks Arabic, like me. We grew up in the same street. And because he is Christian, from ancient time that came from Iraq or Turkey or Syria, on his ID written Arami. If I were an Arab putting a kufiya and living in a tent, they would write Bedouin. If I were an Arab with a Durzi religion, they would say Druze, as if it's ethnic
But
races and religions.
Why have you a star identity, a star nationality? And
I don't know.
Something written here.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. This is not the nationality, this is only a residency.
And are you allowed to vote?
To
for
vote?
example, if
In
there
Israel?
are elections.
Yeah.
But you pay taxes.
I pay taxes. And I get beautiful services. A wall, a checkpoint, degradation of my neighborhood. They've put light. Last year I came back from France and discovered there is light in the street. Then I thought, oh look, they've put us light. They've put for their soldiers that are making a bunker in the street to keep the security because we're overlooking another street which is Military Street. So if there was no so-called security tension, they would have not put any light. To throw away my garbage, I have to walk down the hill to throw away my garbage.
Can you imagine a state of Israel that works in other way?
For me, I cannot imagine a state called Israel. Israel for me is the name of a prophet.
It's a what?
The name of a prophet.
Okay.
It's Jacob. Okay? It stops here. For me, Israel cannot be a country. If I want to call this a country and make nationalities, I would go to the first time this country was made as a region with a drawing and a card when it was part of the Roman Empire called Palestine. After that, Ahla wa sahla for the Jews, they're all welcome if they want to live under a Palestinian state. If they want to go back or to the Arab countries, they're welcome. For me, it's their land. A Jew that came from Morocco, he would feel better in Casablanca, in Fas, in Meknas, than here. He has the right to come here and visit. He's got a right to have a Jewish hospice that would take care of his pilgrimage, like we all did. This country has always been a place of pilgrimage and place of commerce and a place of... The locals that came here were people that had stories with this country, got married in this country, loved this country, stayed next to these holy, so-called holy places. So, the Jews were not kicked out of the Arab world. My story wouldn't say so. I would say that Jews were cheated by the Zionist movement that came from Europe, that have burned and put bombs in synagogues. At the same time, Palestinian problem was starting to get complicated between the Jewish migration, and telling the Jews, listen, you are persecuted. Look at the Arabs. They sort of betrayed you after decades and centuries. You've been living in the Arab world. But excuse me, those Jews are Arabs. They speak Arabic, they pray in Hebrew. Before they did not speak Hebrew in daily life, they spoke Arabic. Hebrew is a language of prayer, like Aramaic. The new Hebrew is not the Hebrew that you would pray with. It's something new. It's a new fashion. It's World War I. After World War I, nationalities, small departments becoming countries, new flags, new territories, and a new world regime.
But the whole world, the only world
It's
I know
an international movement.
Yeah.
It's not
but
only us.
The only world I know is the Western European world. And this world changed completely after World War I. Because states like Hungary or Czech
Republic.
all the states that didn't exist at all before World War
We used to talk about Transylvania.
So everything changed, and there are always.
Now you're talking about Romania, Austria, Hungary, Romania. Everything changed, and it's World War I, and it was a plan. It's a plan. It's been planned for. I don't think it's spontaneous.
No, it's not spontaneous. It's a mixture of national movements and.
But who created national movements? Who helped national movements getting created?
Question.
I think that the people that were behind creating national movements are today behind creating religious movements. Because as when the national movements were created, it led to conflicts and war between cousins that lived in next villages. And today the religious movement is creating even a bigger problem with more impact, because it's humanitarian. We're talking about the globe, we're not only talking about the Middle East. Well, the Middle East is always the place where we're gonna provoke things. It's where we're gonna throw the matches on the fuel to get people, through the religious opium. The sympathy, Jerusalem is being violated, like Sharon goes to have a walk in the mosque, and the country is on fire. This is all planned. This is not a coincidence.
This was a plan. Yeah. This is
and
this is of course.
Sais on the English side and Pico on the French side did a plan, and they said, okay, let's see how can we make trouble in Syria 70, 80 years after. Okay, we'll cut off a region in Syria called Mount Lebanon. In there is an ethnic diversity which is complicated. And religious diversity, which is complicated. We will give the privilege, because we are French, to the Catholics, to the Maronites. Okay, we will make them hate the fact that they are Arab and spit on Arabs and hate Muslims and especially hate Palestinians. And you saw what happened in 1982 in Sabra and Shatila. It was not only Sharon, it was not the Israeli army. The Israeli army surrounded the camp and let no Palestinian leave the camp, and make sure that the Kata'ib, the brigades, the Christian brigades, will enter and be sure that the ethnic purification happens really well. Nothing would be left inside these camps. It's not only Israel. But creating Lebanon now, you're looking about the so-called government of Lebanon, the so-called president of Lebanon today. They're talking about, we want to be friends of Israel. They don't have the eyes to see what Israel did to them in July, what Israel is doing to Lebanon since 48, bombarding Lebanon, attacking villages, massacres in Lebanon. And today I'm seeing Lebanese people that want to have good relationships and good commerce and with Israel. Jordan is a country which loves Israel. Everybody knows that, because England created Israel and at the same time created Jordan as a nationality to make sure that the Eastern borders of the Hebrew state are sure. The Egyptian borders of the Hebrew state are always also sure. Now we have the north region left. So that's why they've cut Lebanon from Syria. That's why they've cut Kuwait from Iraq. Saddam, when he went to take back Kuwait, he has legitimately, in terms of law, in terms of the ancient references, when you look at the Iraqi card at the time of the Ottoman Empire, the Persian Empire, even the times of Babylon, when you want to see what's an Iraqi land, Kuwait is a region of Iraq. When they made borders, let's take a Palestinian village, let's say, with connection to other Palestinian villages, but next to Mount Lebanon, include it in Lebanon, and take a Lebanese village and include it in the state of Israel where we drew the borders. This way there is always something happening on the borders. The borders are always existing.
So you would say the problems are the borders, or this process of nation building. This is the problem.
Nation building and borders. Because, for example, let's say before 100 years ago, 103, the Turkish Empire, I think they fell down 105, 108, somewhere.
105. I think was this Atatürk revolution. Huh?
Yeah, Kemal Atatürk, who was helped by Europe and by the new nationalist movements and, would say, reform. If it is a reform. The Europeans, when the Turkish Empire fell, the end of the Turkish Empire was a big decline. Arabs suffered poverty, famine, ignorance. People were abused by taxes that were going to the expenses of the Turkish court. People used to hide the seeds to be able to eat during the Turkish time. At the 230, 300 final years of the Turkish time, it was total decline. So the taking or the occupation of the Arab countries after the Turkish Empire by European countries was a piece of cake. These countries did not get independence.
So I mean, they cut it like this and gave this to the French. Yeah. So that's colonialism.
It's another crusader. For me, it's crusaders, colonialism. And now the neo-colonialism with democracy and human rights, it's a new
Yeah, I agree with you, but on the other hand, I mean, also in Arab countries, young people or modern people, secular people, they would appreciate to have an open society and not a religious society, not a traditional society, no?
A traditional society is already an open society.
For everyone?
For everyone, yes. We had a very beautiful mosaic here in this country.
Yeah.
We always lived together. There have never, ever been talking about a problem between a Christian and a Muslim.
But you
in the Arab world, till Israel existed.
You would call yourself secular, wouldn't you? If you were asked what your religion is.
If they ask what my religion is, I'm Muslim.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But the way you're living looks not very religious.
Why?
You're drinking alcohol, for example.
You know, there is two ways of apprehending and comprehending religion. There is a way where I would do the ritual, material things to put for myself in evidence that I am doing what would please God.
Yeah.
And there is my personal way. There is another way to apprehend and comprehend God is being good with everyone. And being good and true with yourself first and people around you. And give nothing but positive energy to people around you and make them feel happy with your presence and influence them with good habits and see if they have good habits that you would like take from them. This is being really religious.
Sure.
If you would say religion is I am Muslim and you're Christian, if it's saying he's Jew, he's Muslim and he's Christian, he wouldn't get to my house because I don't like this thing about him. If I would go back to the ancient, this is all cultural, this is not religion. This is what man have added to religion to make it to make it fit with his personal, cultural beliefs, even before monotheism was created. So for me, being religious is being good with everyone first.
Yeah, but this is really, like you said, a very personal way to deal with it.
Yeah.
What I meant is in a traditional society, the religion has also the function to say people how they should live, what they are allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And then you have these open secular societies where people are free to choose in what way they want to live their lives. Is this true?
I get your point. I get your point, and I love your question.
That's good, so answer it.
I will give you one example.
Good.
Traditional family, a Muslim Hajj, from an ancient Muslim family, that is very attached to Islam, would welcome a Catholic person to live inside the family and to be part of the family and hold the family name. How does this happen? Because you're talking about a real Muslim and a real Catholic.
Okay.
And when real believers meet, there is this chemistry.
Okay.
Okay? I would rather live in a country where the 10 Commandments are applicated by law than go to a country where I think that I have my freedom.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Give me the experience in France. France is
Babylon.
the mother country of democracy and human rights. And
France is Babylon for me.
what does it mean?
France is a jungle. France is so-called the mother of human rights.
Yeah.
The clandestine immigrants in France, they get tattooed by the French police.
Wow.
You know that? In Lille.
I didn't know it.
In Lille. Big scandal. A big scandal in France, the country of democracy and human rights. Go to France and check how people live in the suburbs and how people live in downtown Paris, and you will see difference. And they say égalité, equality. There was one movie I saw called Moscow on the Hudson. A Russian guy that there was some kind of meeting between Russian circus going to New York or something, and he was always dreaming as a Russian of how he has the freedom to choose stuff like many products that have different packages with different prices. So when he got to New York, they went to a supermarket. He wanted to look at the coffees, and there was like very big shelves, all types of coffee.
Amazing.
This guy had a kriza
Yeah, sure.
in the movie, and for me, I am so sure that this coffee that you have in 10 packages is the same, and you think you have the choice and the freedom to choose. If I really have the freedom, I would grow my coffee in my garden.
Yeah.
If I have the freedom in Europe,
Nice answer.
if I have freedom in France, I'll grow my tobacco in my garden, but I don't have the law, and if it's fine tobacco in my garden, I'm in jail.
Yeah, that's a nice answer. Okay, I mean, we could add here a long discussion about freedom and
Pause, Katrin.
Bitte.
but I want to add one thing to the question, and the only question I have here, and then I want to have a break anyway, is, but anyway, if I go as a woman, I mean, here in the eastern part of Jerusalem, it's okay. It's I always said it's maybe Orient Light or something like this. But if I go to a real it's Islamic country, like to say Saudi Arabia, maybe as a woman from Western world, they will force me to wear the veil.
Yes.
Yeah, and I really feel I mean, I like to wear it if it's for free. I also do it if I go in a.
You know something?
I
studied tourism. I studied
yeah.
tourism in university. The first day, I remember the dean of the faculty of tourism in Bethlehem, American, very cute man, a brother. The first sentence he wrote for us was, "When in Rome, do as Romans do."
Yeah.
And this is something my dad used always to tell me. If you don't go to England, you don't drive like you drive in Jerusalem.
No, okay, that's a good answer.
For example,
but-
Ellen, when she came to this country, the first day she comes to Jerusalem, she goes in Salah ad-Din Street. Jerusalem is not a very conservative society. You have ladies with veil, lady without veil. She saw that, okay, I'm in Arab world, she put a veil the first
Yeah,
day.
me too.
Sorry, we have
Okay.
to continue it
Okay.
afterwards because it doesn't make
That's,
sense if the sound is not okay.
If you've been to Jericho, you could have enjoyed all this from the tree.
Yeah, it's the pity that we have so less time.
Yeah.
But if we are still invited the next time,
Whenever you want.
Okay. So only the discussion we had before
On the veil.
on the veil, yeah. This question, because I liked your answer very much, but it was not exactly what I meant. Because if I'm a tourist, of course, yeah, I appreciate that you say where you come, you have to, yeah. But I meant if I lived there as a woman,
Yeah.
and I'm a secular woman, but I'm not allowed to do many things I can do in a secular society, and I'm forced to wear this special kind
Yeah, because
of
you
clothes.
chose to live in a society which is not secular.
But if I'm born there, if I were born there, so
I tell you something, if you were born even there, you would end up by behaving the way people do. Because if you do not belong to the society, if you are odd or you are different, people will see, hey, look, there is a difference.
yeah,
This is one thing. About the veil,
yeah,
it has nothing to do with religion. Personally talking, for me, veil is Arab, burqa is Afghani. The tiny veil in crochet is Turkish and Syrian. Even men used to put veils
because of the sun.
because of the sun.
Yeah, I always thought that it comes from this region.
It's regional, it's cultural.
But it's used as a religious symbol, isn't it?
New.
Yeah,
This
new.
is very
Of
new.
course, I'm talking about the news.
New terms. Religion is changing today. You know that. Before people had many religions, lived together. A Christian is a Christian, a Muslim is a Muslim, a Jew is a Jew. The way he wants to practice religion is personal. The religion was not so I wouldn't not show what is my religion through a way of wearing.
Yeah,
Today it's different.
yeah,
I'll tell you why. Imagine now let's say Spain occupies Austria.
okay.
Okay?
To bring the food, yeah.
Spanish people are oppressing Austrian people and wanting them to dress up as Spanish people want. As an Austrian, wouldn't you love to put your dress
Maybe.
when you feel attacked? Look today on
I
the...
noticed the stories, sorry for interrupting, from Turkish girls. They are very secular when they are in Istanbul, no veil at all, and they're going to the disco. Then they come to Austria, and there they are migrants and minority. They're really fucked up sometimes, not accepted in the society. And what they do, they go back to their family tradition.
Yeah, and
Do you mean something like
and
this,
then
yeah?
if the tradition waiting for you is oriented,
Yeah.
politically oriented, then you can mess up. How can we today? No, religion is a very beautiful thing. God gave us religion, and God gave us a very big gift, which is mind.
Okay.
It can be a gift as a malediction. And when we are poor, influenced, when we are poor and starving and being oppressed, we are easily influenced. We want to find refuge in God.
Yeah.
Everybody makes this turn. This is human. Even non-believers go to look to believe in something which is not God, because it's human. We need to believe in something. We need to feel inferior to something that we would refuge to in time of distress and sorrowness and frustration and etc. So if God, in God's representative, I mean, in the mosque, the synagogue, and the church is oriented, and the person in front is ignorant oppressed, frustrated, he will be easily influenced.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even lead people to put on veils and exaggerate. It would lead people to blow up themselves in buses even. So, I can read the Quran now and see that if I become a martyr, after doing jihad, I can get 99 ladies in paradise. Okay? Well, I can read it in my way and say, I'll have what my soul desires. Physically, morally, is it concrete? I don't give a mind. But there are people that have nothing on earth that need physical, concrete things to believe in paradise and that it's going to be something because practically they have nothing.
I think maybe one last thought about this. Maybe not only if they have something or not, because there are many poor people and anyway they do not blow up themselves in buses, but maybe it has something to do with future or with
Dreams.
Dreams, yeah.
If you ask me one day, how do they make suicide bombers? I will tell you one thing, brainwashing. Now, for example, we have a fight.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm trying to push on your neck maximum to kill you. Your instinct would be to defend yourself and keep your life. Even if you don't want to live, you cannot control it. So what would make a person go and decide, I'm gonna push on a button and blow up?
So cruel to think.
This person first is psychologically, should be depressive or maniac or live something really traumatizing to get to such a level. Then there should be somebody to orient him. For me to make a boy dream of 99 girls in paradise and see them already, it would take drugs, prostitutes in graveyards with incense and beautiful music. And you can then do brainwashing. It's easy. I can do it. Give me a guy. I take the Quran. I know myself. I can influence, and I know I'm a bit manipulator. I'm a bit Machiavellic. I will put him. I'll bring him to a tomb yard. I'll make him drink something or smoke something. Even if he doesn't know, I can put something in his drink. Okay. Bring 799 Russian prostitutes from Israel. Bring them to Jenin in a cemetery. Present them in the graveyard among him with the beautiful saints playing music. The guy would think this is paradise. That God revealed him paradise already. And why would he want 99 girls? Because he is a man, this is instinct.
Okay. But there are also some, not a lot, but some women.
Yeah, there is one girl from Ramallah. I think she has a very sad story. Like this girl, she decided, I think herself, she manipulated herself to do it. I think she lost her brother. Her husband got arrested. She was a truck driver to help her family. Then she would, plus the pressure coming from outside. Israel should stop oppressing people. Israel should stop Israel's friends. And the new called governments and the new called Annapolis states should stop oppressing people, should stop corruption and start thinking of concrete projects to help people. And there is only one thing that can save us here. Education. You plant, you recolt. If you plant well in good environment, you get something good. You prepare the environment for your kid. He would not choose it by himself.
Are you thinking about this for your kid already?
Of course. 100%. The way you grow things, you're gonna get the fruits of what you did. So if I have a kindergarten, and I take the kids to picnic, and on the road they're gonna sing in the bus. By the end of the bus, they're gonna sing and do crazy things. Let's kill the Arabs. Let's throw them in the sea. This is dangerous.
So you think a peace process has also, whatever it can be, to start with the education. And of course. Propaganda is also...
Propaganda, education is propaganda.
Yeah.
You look at the, for example, Jordan. In Jordan, till the death of the king, the first King Hussein, one of the first amendments of Jordan, liberating Jerusalem. Okay? In the Jordanian curriculum, King Hussein did this to Jerusalem. King Hussein did this to the Dome of the Rock. We will do this and we will liberate and. Now in Jordan, that was of course used for elections and for that we won't forget Palestinians, not forgetting that 95% of Jordanians are Palestinians. And they don't have the right to vote.
Really?
Because if they vote, there will be no more royalty in Jordan. It will disappear. Today, Jordan is saying Jordan first. This has been implemented in Jordan since US aid and new Middle East projects arrived to the region. Now Jordanian kids in school, they learn Jordan first. We didn't mention even Jerusalem. We didn't mention to this Jordanian kid that his cousins are Palestinians or that he might be Palestinian and not know it. This way, I don't know. It's all about education, terms, and propaganda. Education is propaganda.
And from what kind of education do you come from? I mean, now in your personal life, what did your families taught you? What was their background?
I'm background Arab conservative family. Education in the family is the most important element. Degrees, diplomas, like technical work diplomas, plus general education. This is one of the family amendments. My father put us in Catholic schools.
Oh.
Yeah. Because they have good values in education, 10 commandments, which are okay with him, which are the basics for him. Being a Muslim, a religious Muslim, or a Muslim coming from a conservative family, religious family, in Catholic schools, Catholic education, which is not different from Muslim education at all. It's quite the same. Okay. And then we were be on your guard, know who's your enemy, know who's your friend, know how to treat your friend, and know how to treat your enemy, and when. Make friends, try to get your enemy to become your friend, be good. It happens. It happens.
Sometimes.
Most beautiful friendships happened on earth between cops and thieves. It's like 20 years. If the thief would go after 20 years chasing to the prison, to jail, the policeman would say, "God damn it, I like chasing him. Now I can't chase him anymore." Some kind of relationships, humans cannot do anything but talk. We cannot now. If you put an extremist Zionist settler from Kiryat Arba with a boy from Jenin, and you close them in the room with all the background they have, they will end up in the same house. They will end up asking, "Where's the spoon? Can you give me sugar?" They will become friends. It's human.
Maybe this is a part of the solution, to put this...
Put everyone together. Everyone was together during the Turkish Empire here.
Okay.
We lived in total harmony. We had Jews, Christians, Muslims. We would not even talk about it. Today we are too much talking about who's Muslim, who's Christian, who's Jew. This is separating people. Why are media talking about it? Media's also talked about civil war in Gaza before it happened. They prepared it and they made it happen.
That's very important what you say. That war is prepared in the head.
Of course.
To see the other as a monster.
How many years did they start abusing and describing Saddam Hussein as a massacre?
Yeah. 5 minutes. Okay. Utopia, Grandma. Those is not. I ask the Utopia question because I think it fits to our discussion. You know the Utopia question we ask all our partners in these talks. What is their utopia for this place? Your personal utopia.
This place is a piece of land. Part of motherland, of the globe. Everyone has the right to live here. Everyone has the right to prosper here. Everyone has the right to be buried here. people must have freedom to go wherever they want. We should stop putting pressure on people. We should let people live. We should let people grow things back, be productive and not consumer. We should not even consume. We do not need people to think at our place. We can think.
Yeah, this Europeans you meant, or this USA.
Even our own leaders, even the leaders of the Arab world. Who are the leaders of the Arab world? Did they take the independence? They were given independence with a user manual by the European countries. And now they're giving all the fortunes of the Arab world are going to Europe and the United States of America. These people in the Arab countries, except some of them, for me, are collaborators. They are abusing a national or a regional resource that should serve the local community, and they're giving it. It's a gift, and they are at the same time they are in debts for European and American countries. This does not sound logic.
So, yeah, utopia is something like no leaders. People can speak for themselves. Everybody anarchist.
People cannot speak for themselves.
So who should speak for whom?
Good people should speak for them.
And who choose if people are good?
No, it's not my thing. I'm not so passionate about politics now. For me, doing something good in politics is having a good family and teaching my son good values, and that's it. If we all go back to good education, and then what would people describe good education? It's very problematic, the definition. What is good education? What's not good? But if we raise our kids on tolerance, on accepting the other, on loving the other, the other is a human, then a generation might result the appearance of a leader, because people always need somebody to lead them. People might choose a leader, or a leader might appear, who would be, let's say, ethic, moral, and who would consider really doing something for not only his country but humanity. Because I would feel sad for what happens in Kosovo. I don't speak Serbian, or I don't speak those languages. I have never been there, but I know that this is a human, and he's suffering. There's a human, and Gaza is suffering, and it's a human. It's a global human misery, and even in Europe, people are very miserable. Especially with the euro, people are thought that they are voting for good things, and they discover that they were not finally that good, and people have nobody to trust now. And when people do not trust no more anyone anymore, they might go back to religion. And then if religion is oriented, we're screwed. Because not only religion can bring us really peaceful and civic and caring one for each other, and it can get us, if we really abuse it, can bring us like animals, killing each other. We can go back to a jungle. This place is just a piece of land, a holy piece of land, maybe. All earth is holy, God created earth. At the same time, he did not first say, here is Jerusalem, here is my favorite place, here is... Actually, he might have chosen Palestine to send Jesus, Moses, Abraham, the Muslims, and everyone to try to a father putting his kids a heritage and see, are they gonna fight after his death? For example, I'm gonna leave them this heritage. Are they gonna fight, no, this is mine, no, this is mine? Or are they gonna get along and say, let's enjoy it all together? Might be a test from God.
Okay.